guys, my name's Andy, welcome back to Scottish Team Productions and another video. Today I'm bringing you the second layout update for what is now called Fiddler's Yard. There's a lot to talk about in this one because a lot got done, so sit back, grab your popcorn and I hope you enjoy. So you guys must be looking at this layout thinking, holy Jesus, are you sure this is even the same layout that you showed us back a few days ago? Yes it is, but I have done so much work because I just wanted to have something to do, and that has meant I've done this a lot quicker than I thought I'd be. I thought the next update I'd probably end up doing would just be where I'm at ballasting, and here I am with the embankment pretty much done. The disused siding has static grass in it. There's a lot of hedges, there's bits of locos, the signal box is in, the roads are down, so it's a crossing. I have done a lot, so I'm going to go through bit by bit. I've got a massive list here, so let's get started. So first thing on the list is you will notice that this is not the intended track plan. That's because I completely forgot what kind of points these were. They are streamlined, left-hand, slightly curved points. So that does mean that the track does come down at a slight angle, comes close to the edge, goes left slightly, and then goes ever so slightly right along the embankment, and then straight out, as you can see a bit better there. Now, this also meant that I couldn't do 3 sidings because I couldn't turn some track tight enough and then slap this point on the end to split out into 2 more sidings, and also those 2 sidings would probably only be able to house 1 or 2 wagons, which I really don't want. I want it to be able to house a lot more than that. So this is what I've got for now. It's 2 sidings, but if you remember a long time ago, I did a little video with just 2 sidings and a jinty, and I got a good bit of shunting done. So along with the different track plan, it now has a name. This is now going to be known as Fiddler's Yard, thanks to my good friend Martin for coming up with that name. Good job, mate. If you saw the little teaser video I did of Normandy shunting at Fiddler's Yard, you would have seen Normandy passing some wagons and this signal box. This signal box has been, I believe, scratch or kit built. It does have a light in, but because it's an LED light, it flashes like crazy on my camera, and I don't want to cause anyone an epileptic seizure. So it did have a sort of a dim warm orange or warm yellow light, but that just didn't really light it up enough. It just looked like a firebox glow, and so I put a bright white one in there now. And in the night shots, it just looks so much better. So you've seen that little clip by now. It just looks really good, nice and bright at night, which is what I want. With this layout probably needing a lot of wiring because there's a lot of different tracks, I guess I've learned a lot about, how to keep wiring tidy. This is what the underside looks like as of now. It is a lot tidier. I've learned a lot about wiring, and I discovered the holy blessing, which is copper wire strips. Honestly guys, if you don't have copper wire strips, I recommend you get them incredibly. They have been such a lifesaver for me. I don't have like 30 connector blocks underneath anymore. I don't think I even have 1 connector block underneath. It's just copper strips and a few wires, and I couldn't be happier with the end result. It's just absolutely fantastic. So I'm really glad that I've learned to keep my wiring tidy for once, instead of what I did with Silson Steam Railway and just connector blocked everything, which was a stupid idea. Now you will see some of the points aren't quite ballasted. There is a reason for that. This one is ballasted. This one point in particular, this is an electro frog point, there we go. And then these 3 are inshore frog points. Now when I wired all this up, I didn't know that if I put wires here on electro frog and wires down here, for some reason it just would not run at all. So this is now since become the abandoned siding, which I kind of did want anyway. I think just any railway somewhere will have this disused siding where they put something that they just don't intend to come back to for a long time. And as you can see, there's all the grass in there. I do plan on getting a Woodland Scenics rusty rail pen and going over the railhead, so it actually looks like it's been disused for a long time. And then that rail there, and then that rail there that just the trains don't use. These points are glued hard in place because if it switches, it could shut out the whole layout for some reason. I don't know why it does that, but all the others work absolutely fine. They do now, I should say, because when I was gluing down the ballast, I didn't get a little bit of glue in there. No, there was a puddle or a swimming pool of glue in the point blades. So thanks to someone on Facebook, the Model Railway for Novices group, they told me boiling water and cotton buds are your best friend for getting glue out of there. And they were right. It did a treat. It works again. So thank you so much. You saved my layout. So I'll definitely listen to Dean Park Station next time I go to him for advice. While I'm on the topic of ballasting, when I was doing the ballasting along this track, the main running track, I had, where this embankment is now, there was tape coming, just running alongside of the track, trying to keep it nice and tidy, and what a result it did. It kept it so tidy that I've, been able to add this embankment in brilliantly. It's, the ballast didn't go absolutely everywhere when I pulled it up. It had a nice smooth line, which I'm so happy about. So it means I can have this nice embankment and maybe get some point rodding. Yeah, point rodding down there in the future with a signal. But if you're ballasting and you want nice, tidy ballasting lines along your track, if there's a curve as well, I recommend you tape where you don't want the ballast to go, where you want it to stop. And then once it's just about to be dried, pull it up nice and slowly and you'll get this result. It's absolutely fantastic. And once all the ballast was dry, I added the level crossing here and the foot crossing. Looking at it now and how the track only comes a little bit onto the road, I'm starting to think I should have done maybe a 45-degree angle crossing instead of it just being straight. I don't know. I think that might have looked better, but at the same time it might have been a bit more difficult. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I have done it 45 degrees or should I have kept it straight? Let me know down in the comments, but I think it would have looked a lot better at 45 degrees. Since I was on the topic of the embankment just before, the embankment is made of little cardboard triangles that I put down, and then I put some toilet paper inside there, folded up, rolled up so it was nice and flat along the edge, and then I put wet tissue on top to form the embankment base, and when it was going over the tissue, it would actually sag. So I had kind of a wavy embankment, which I didn't want. So I ended up using tape. I think it's called gaffer tape, this kind of papery tape sort of thing. And it's so straight. It's really good. If there are bumps in there, you can't really tell. And when I go to paint the front of the layout a nice blue colour, you won't be able to tell that there's tape under there. So I'm really happy about that. It was difficult. I almost ripped the entire thing up and just added grass and a fence. But I thought, no, I want this embankment, so that's what I'm going to do. So it didn't take that long. It took about maybe a day and a half just to do this embankment. But I'm so happy with how it came out. And if some of you have been keeping a key eye out, yes, the TARDIS has been put down. Although the way I've done the lighting for the signal box is I've got a... hang on a sec. So I do have two controls right now. This was the main one I was using at the time. This is going to go to Ribble Valley Railway. This is going to stay with me, mainly because with the Bachmann controller, I have a lot more low-speed control. With this, there's a little bit of leeway. There's a lot of nothing, and then there's a little bit of absolutely everything. So I think this will be more better suited on the Ribble Valley Railway for track 3, because that's where this one came from. And then this one's going to stay with me. And I've got two of these plugs. So one of these controls the controller for the track, and then I've got another one of these wiring up the light into the signal box. Now that does mean it is directly taking 16 volts with a resistor, and it works for the time being. But that does mean that I can't use the TARDIS. Why? Because it will work on 16 volts, but it will just stay a solid light. It will not flash. So I have to get a 12 volt DC output controller, Otherwise, I'm going to have to figure out how to wire up a 9-volt battery and stick it temporarily underneath the baseboard to make it work. So for now, it's not flashing, but then again, it wouldn't be flashing right now because I don't want to give anyone a seizure. Those 2 lights will not be the only ones. I do plan on getting some flashing crossing lights. There'll be a street lamp, more lights on the signal box, maybe some warning lights on the foot crossing, and then some flooded yard lights, and then maybe some lights on the buffers as well, and a signal here and maybe there, telling you if you're going straight or into the yard, and then one there telling you stop or go. So I do plan to have this layout, very much lit for the night shots, because I believe that will look absolutely incredible. And I do intend on getting a car with LED lights fitted as well. So when the night shots do come, it looks like an actual working, area, like a working industrial shunting area. With the level crossing, the design I've gone for is going to be a wooden gate crossing, because inside the signal box there is a wheel that the signalman would turn and it would open or close the gates to allow trains through or to allow cars through. I don't know if there are any level crossing gates with the blinker warning lights. If there are, let me know. If they're not, then I'll do some modern barriers. But that's what I'm going to go for now. And in regards to the foot crossing, I finally remember the name. There is going to be a style little fence step thing here or there, depending on where it would normally be, because they are on some level crossings for pedestrians in the UK. So I'm thinking maybe a warning light that side and a warning light this side. Although I don't know if it's too close to the edge of the baseboard here. I don't know if a warning light would be that close to the tracks. Because if you look how far away that one is and then look how close this one is, I don't know if one would be that close. It would probably be much further away to keep the pedestrians safe. So I don't know. I might put one there and there, or I might just have one over that side. But we'll see what happens when I get the parts. Now, I have mentioned that there is static grass down. It is a mix of, I believe, a moss blend, which is the darker stuff, and a spring or a summer blend, which I've used for the embankment. So a nice sort of bright grass for the embankment, and then a slightly darker one for the grass that is just not tended to. Most likely probably got some like rust pollution from all these parts that are just left behind, and the foliage just growing here. Probably some rust from the tracks as well. I do need to weather the tracks. I will get to that, but just not yet. So the static grass was relatively easy to do, although you will notice I have accidentally got some of it on the back scene there, but I will rectify that, don't you worry. The static grass just looks absolutely fantastic. I'm going to use it on every single layout to come now, including Ribble Valley Railway, which will have more static grass to come because because of that layout, I now have the confidence and the bravery to, apply it correctly. I was terrified when I was going to do this, worried that it would be really patchy, but it looks good. It looks really, really good, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. The derelict siding is sort of an homage to a bit of track that was probably used back in the heyday of this siding, where everything was just constantly getting moved and shunted around, but now it's not used as much anymore. They only use 1 and 2, and this one's going to get a really dark, rusty track. There's probably maybe going to be some bits of ash in there, maybe some old wheels. I'm not quite sure how heavily I'm going to make it look derelict yet, or abandoned, or disused. I'm still doing my research. I still probably want to add a couple of tufts here and there, and I'm not going to put grass on all the way over the ballast, because that's not how some sidings were. There were some sidings that had the railhead exposed, some had the railhead completely covered, and some where the grass didn't completely cover all the ballast. So I'm just trying to get the best of everything and see what looks really good, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So the derelict siding, disused siding, whatever you want to call it, this is where it's at now. If it changes, you'll see in the next update video, but I do plan on doing more stuff with it. Now, with the points not being ballasted yet, you will see that there are holes ready for point motors to go in underneath. The reason I've not done it in the middle one was because, well, I can drill a hole there, but I can't drill a hole straight through the middle of the points. So the idea originally was to keep it cheap, was have some little rodding come through that hole there, down through the bottom of the baseboard, and then I've got a little pulley mechanism around the back of the layout where I just push or pull it and it will switch the points. Although I can't find the correct type of little rod or bit of metal to go through the very, very tiny hole of the points there. And the way I would switch it is with these little switches. It was done on a layout at Preston District Model Railway Society that's in Engage called the Summit in the Fiddle Yard. And I think it was just a really good way of keeping the cost down and the wiring down with point motors. And it just means, I guess, it's more reliable. The only thing that'll be an error is you if you don't switch the points correctly. So say you want to get a train from there into the main head shunt. If you don't switch that point, you're going into a mainline train. That's your fault, not the points. So you can't blame that on the layout. You can only blame yourself. So it probably will be me controlling it, but I do want to get some point motors. And I possibly, if I can, I want to get some point rodding. It's either going to be the plastic kit stuff or it's going to be the DCC concept stuff that actually moves. I don't know yet. So it's either going to be the rodding, or I'm going to have little plastic point levers, or I think they're metal point levers, and they're going to go on top of the point there, and then when it throws, this one's glued down so I can't throw it, when it throws the point lever moves as well. Sounds a bit ambitious, sounds a bit complicated, but it is something I really want to do, and I think it'll look really amazing to see it move. Also, you will notice Royal Scott has found its new temporary home on here, as well as a cab of a GWR loco that was numbered 4073. If anyone knows what loco that was, please let me know. I have absolutely no idea what loco it was. But yeah, so this siding was kind of sort of like if you have spare parts of locos that are being worked on, they kind of be left here, or if some permanent way stuff like this little wagon here that I put together, if I have some permanent way wagons just needed to be put away for the time being, it would be put in here, out the way, so you know, wouldn't get in the way of stuff. You wouldn't need to shunt stuff around to get to something you actually needed. So there's the connecting rods, there's a cab, there's Royal Scott's smoke box door, smoke deflectors, steps and sandboxes, some rails as well that will get weathered, as well as these ones. There's a lot to do and a lot to add to really make this scene look good. So it will get more stuff and it will look better, so just bear with me on this one. So on the topic of track weathering, like I said before, I do intend on getting a Woodland Scenics Rusty Rail track weatherer marker. How good it is, I don't know, but it does mean I can practice on these bits of track that I've already put down and the derelict siding. So these bits of rails that I put down, they're just like track maintenance that never got cleaned up. I do plan on adding some sleepers. I've got a lot of them here because they were all on this wagon from years and years ago when I was practicing making loads for wagons. But they'll probably be jotted around here and there. There's some that I did. Here's one I did earlier. That gag hasn't got old. So yeah, you will see some sleepers dotted around here and there. But there will be more. I might do a sleeper stack, maybe in the corner over there, because I didn't get as much static grass in that corner. I was struggling because it is a bulky static grass applicator. But yeah, so sleepers will be added here, there and everywhere. Maybe some other broken bits. We'll see what happens. And whether or not I dirty up the track, that's still in the maybes because I don't quite have the confidence to do that yet. Maybe I'll practice on a little diorama somewhere. I don't know. But for now, it's mainly the rails that are going to get rusted. Now, the wiring for this layout is incredibly tidy, but I have done the mistake of wiring up the power to every single bit of track from the main line all the way to the furthest siding. So if a train's on here and a train's on there, and I turn this on, they're both going to move. So what I need to do in the future is separate the power supply between the main line and the sidings, so I can run a mainline train past while I'm doing some shunting in the yard. Or I can just make the whole thing DCC. But that's what it could be. It could be DC or it could be DCC if I keep the wiring as it is now, because there would be no breaks. If a point throws, a loco isn't just going to suddenly die. It'll stay as it is because there's, like I said, there's power absolutely everywhere except for that siding. So I might keep it DCC. I might keep it DC. Although I do intend on getting a digital sound decoder for my Evening Star from TTS, because I don't want to fork out 100 quid for a decoder that can do the same for 40. The only reason I'll spend 100 quid is for my Steam locos, so they sound good and they don't do chuff, chuff, chuff instead of, 4 chuffs per revolution. But yeah, I plan on getting Evening Star digital sound fitted, and for that I will need a digital controller. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think I should do. Should I split the main line and the sidings, or should I keep it as it is now? Let me know down in the comments. So that is everything I have done. So what do I need to do after this? Well, the road and the foot crossing need painting. More lights are going to get added. Trees are going to probably start growing. And by growing, I mean I'm going to put trees down. Like I said, weathering will happen as well. I might weather the signal box because with it being so close to the track and so close to the road, it probably will get a bit grubby. There might be some vines or grass growing over it. Figures will be added as well. I'm thinking of adding some photographers or train spotters maybe around here. And maybe some signals. Like I said, I do want to have a signal here to stop trains at a certain point. So maybe something can come out of the sidings onto the main line, or vice versa. And yeah, I do believe that's it. Yeah, so that's all I've got for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Are you impressed with the amount of progress that I've done? Because I sure as hell am. There will be more progress when more stuff comes. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like and a good comment. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike and a bad comment. I'm looking forward to doing more work on this. I'm really excited to have a working layout again. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video, and see you later. Bye for now.